It's nice to see that the world of hot hatches is alive and well, don't you think? They've also proven a big hit with buyers in the UK owing to their usable on-road performance and decent practicality, which means that they can be used for day-to-day driving as well as more spirited weekend trips. The Volkswagen Golf GTi and Honda Civic Type R are two key players in this segment, and with the arrival of a new Golf GTi last year, we've now got the latest example of the famous Type R to go up against it. Here we're going to take a look and see how they compare. It used to be that you'd opt for the GTi if you wanted mature styling and the Type R if you were after something a bit more head-turning. That's not quite the case anymore. Honda has really smoothed out the look of the Civic Type R, making it far less angular and aggressive than it once was. It still has a massive rear wing, of course, but the rest of the car is significantly more grown up. The GTi is a very composed affair, just as it always has been throughout its many generations. It's got a full-width light bar at the front, mind you, which does give it a more futuristic feel. Out of the two, we'd probably trump for the GTi, but let us know what you think in the comments section below. Now inside, it's still obvious which one is the Type R here. Though the exterior may have calmed down, the Civic hasn't lost any of its verve when it comes to the cabin, where you'll find really supportive bucket seats paired with lots of Alcantara for that full race car feel. The nice 410 litre boot might be slightly smaller than the old Civic Type R, but it's nicely sized and easy to access. Things are a bit more subdued in the Volkswagen. There are plenty of good quality materials used throughout, but it's not quite as exciting to experience as the Civic. However, the ergonomics are really good, with a nice seating position offering plenty of adjustability. It does, however, lose out on boot space with its 380 litre luggage area, somewhat behind the Hondas. We'd award the win to the Civic in this area. Both of these cars offer an elevated experience over a standard hatchback. The Golf's 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine is responsive and eager to bring acceleration, though it isn't the most tuneful. The steering is easy and accurate, while the ride quality isn't bad at all, particularly with cars fitted with adaptive suspension, as it allows you to make it a little softer for the UK pockmarked roads. The Type R, meanwhile, feels just as exciting as always. There's a real sense of urgency by the way it drives, while the 6-speed manual gearbox is a joy to use. In more aggressive driving modes, it's a little too firm for the UK, but opt for the more comfort-orientated settings and it gets on just fine. To us, the Type R is a worthy winner in this area. Both cars do quite well where running costs are concerned. Of course, being performance models, they're never going to be able to offer the last word in efficiency, but they're not quite as bad as you might think. For instance, Volkswagen claims that the GTi will manage up to 38.2 miles per gallon, which isn't bad for a car with 242 brake horsepower. The Civic is only slightly worse where efficiency is concerned, with Honda claiming up to 34.3 miles per gallon. Emissions of 186 grams per kilometre of CO2 aren't that bad either, but the Golf is considerably cleaner at 168 grams per kilometre. Combine that with a slightly better efficiency and it means that the Volkswagen will be the better choice if you want reasonable running costs. The Civic Type R used to be the more budget-friendly option here, but the most recent example has clanged in at around £47,000, making it far from a low-cost buy. That said, the changes over the previous generation car aren't all that extensive, so you wouldn't feel too out of touch if you opted for a used example, and you'd be saving a fair amount in the process. The Golf GTi, meanwhile, still represents great value for money. The latest version has plenty of onboard equipment, while residuals have proven to be consistently strong too. There are also loads of used examples for sale on Motors.co.uk at the moment, should a brand new version not quite take your fancy. For value though, we'd actually favour the Volkswagen in this instance. Now, both of these cars provide a little bit of excitement that can be put into the everyday. They're practical and will be good enough for family use, but are still superb to drive and can help transform even most mundane routes into something a little more special. For us, the Type R reigns supreme. The Volkswagen is a bit more settled for day-to-day use, but its hugely involving driving experience, sharper handling and larger boot means that the Civic is the one that we'd go for. Thanks for watching this Motors.co.uk twin test of the Volkswagen Golf GTi and Honda Civic Type R. What do you think of these cars? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to click that bell icon so you're notified every single time we upload a new video.